Remaining with us, James Hirsen, Newsmax insider, author of the Left Coast Report. James, we thank you for hanging in. Also with us in just a few minutes, Dr. Jane Orient, my good friend, checking in and Skyping in from Arizona. Dr. Jane, we appreciate your time as well today. Thank you so much. James, back to you in terms of the entertainment industry and Robin Williams' profession on the screen as an actor. Do you have a favorite Robin Williams film?
There's too many to have a favorite. I think the comment about his films is he chose them so carefully and he really wanted to edify the audience. If you look at his work, it stands out, especially from kind of the cesspool of what the media culture gives us today. Obviously, Good Will Hunting is one of the best. Dead Poets Society, Moscow on the Hudson, I happen to love. But there's a whole generation that loves Jumanji and Mrs. Doubtfire. And that's what's amazing, is that he appealed to so many generations. But I do think that the industry is in shock. And he has 4 movies. This is unprecedented. 4 movies that are, as they say, in the can, ready to come out this year. 2 big ones at Christmas. A 5th movie that I'm aware of is going to come out in 2015. So Robin Williams will still be with us in terms of his work. And it just absolutely is befuddling everyone because people feel so connected, like he's a friend. How could this very successful, gifted, sensitive, and a person that seems so sweet and give people so much happiness, how could he get to the point where he felt it necessary to end his own life?
And you have asked the question that we really need to move to Dr. Orient for. And we thank you for asking it that way, James, because it's affecting all of us today. Dr. Orient, based on what you've read, what you've heard in terms of the coverage of the life and now the death of Robin Williams, this notion of depression and substance abuse. Give us your take on what you're hearing.
I think this shows us that happiness does not come from success, that people who have it all may still be among the most miserable people in the world, and it may be very difficult to tell. As Charles Dickens wrote in A Tale of Two Cities in one of the opening scenes, every human being is a total mystery to every other. So apparently no one was aware of the misery that Robin Williams was feeling. But I think the big cautionary note to the industry, and really to all of us, is the dangers of cocaine abuse. We know that he was struggling with this, and I think we need to strike the term recreational drugs from our vocabulary. I think there's the sense that maybe poor black people deserve to go to prison for using cocaine, but its use is very widespread in the upper crust who may believe that they can handle it. And I think it shows such a brilliant person as Robin Williams couldn't handle it, that we really need to focus on the dangers. I think these mind-altering drugs may give you a high, but they may destroy the pleasure centers of your brain. I think they do cause brain damage, and they may make it very difficult or impossible for you to enjoy the normal pleasures of life.
So as a young man, certainly, the addiction to cocaine, late 70s, early 80s, we understood that Robin Williams basically went cold turkey off of cocaine and drinking and spent 20 years of sobriety before getting back to drinking somewhere around 2003. Then he checked into a substance abuse clinic. Could it be something you believe, Dr. Orient, perhaps that the use of drugs triggered the type of depression, or is this type of depression something that can be a lifelong affliction, or certainly with the onset of adolescence in so many people?
I think that we would just have to speculate about that, but I think that we really need to be aware of the possibility that so-called recreational drugs are maybe damaging your brain. You may have a high from it, but you may pay a price later on. It is not cool to do this just because very smart and successful people are doing it. it is reckless, irresponsible, and very dangerous.
In the minute and a half that remains, Dr. Orient, while you offer the cautionary note on substance abuse and particularly recreational drug use, will the passing of Robin Williams open new doors to awareness of mental illness and depression? Do you think that may also be of benefit to the community in the wake of this stunning and tragic loss?
Well, I think so, but I think that we do need to understand that there is no anti-suicide pill, and that we can't manage depression and unhappiness just by shipping people off to a doctor who will prescribe a drug. We need to recognize that even the antidepressants have a black box suicide warning on them, and many depressed people don't commit suicide, and they may do it when they have their mood lifted and find the energy to do it. So this is a very serious problem, and it does not have a simple answer.
Dr. Jane Orient, there are no simple answers. We do appreciate your perspective, and to our friend, our right-thinking man on the left coast, James Hirsen, for your perspective from Hollywood on the life and times of Robin Williams. We thank you very much, too. Obviously, we will continue to talk about this. In fact, when we come back, I've got a few thoughts on Robin Williams, perhaps purely personal, or maybe some that you might share as well. Also, your thoughts via social media that we still invite. Why don't you tweet us your comments on the passing of Robin Williams to us at Newsmax TV, #America's Forum. There's also Facebook.com/Newsmax.